Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to be here at this Shanghai International Fintech Forum and to share with you the economic and digital transformation in the post-COVID era. You will all agree with me that COVID-19 is arguably the biggest global crisis since World War II in our lifetime. It has had a tremendous impact on the world, including China. We are all very concerned about COVID-19, and here I recommend Bill Gates' blog. He regularly updates the development and also the vaccine development. Comparing to previous crises from the Spanish flu 100 years ago to the Great Depression, then to the 2008 financial crisis, the impact of this COVID-19 is unprecedented. It is the widest and the deepest. The world may be a different place because of COVID-19. Economics study money, goods, and services and their flow in the economy. Well, how will these flows change in the post-COVID era? Well, first, the movement of people. Well, the movement of people was basically non-existent during the peak time, domestic and international. The airline, cruise, tourism industry, culture industry, film and television, performance, etc., were all severely hit by the pandemic. All countries suffer, including China. Well, of course, the restaurant and catering industry as well. The good news is, though, it will take some time for these industries to recover. It will recover. People, human beings are social animals. We always need to shake hands, talk to people, and hug people. Business travel will always be face-to-face. Remote communication is no substitute. People still want to travel around the world to see cultural heritage. Well, the thing is, COVID may cause companies to go busted. Companies may go out of business and never be able to come back. Here we can see big companies may get bigger. They are able to survive this crisis, and they may also merge small and medium-sized companies. So will this lead to monopoly? This is a question that we're studying. The second is information flow. Without the movement of people, the only way the world can function is through the flow of information. Well, technology is more important given this pandemic. High-tech companies, they are in greater needs. Remote offices, cloud computing, etc. If you run a physical server, then your employees need to risk going to the room to handle the business. So now, lots of things are done via cloud computing. Digital extension becomes something that is of urgent need. Lots of companies, they put all their business online during the pandemic. Actually, the flow of information is more smoother than before. For instance, within Microsoft, we as senior executives, we usually meet Satya, our CEO, and the SOT team 3 times every year. But now, because of the pandemic, people have to work remotely, so we can meet every month via conference, via an online conference meeting. So in fact, the information is being changed more frequently between people and things. Of course, this will cause permanent change in education. We all have kids. Online classes, like nowadays, has already become a new normal. We talked about MOOC for many years, and such open online classes may see their days coming, and this will definitely have some impact on traditional education.
The flow of goods, which might be different from logistics that most people will think about. Well, actually, for a product, from its component procurement to manufacturing to warehousing and eventually to marketing and delivery, warehousing, all the way to the end point, that's retail, and the whole process is the flow of goods. Previously, globalization was carrying out unstoppable, and we even promote just-in-time manufacturing and zero inventory, which means that we started to produce after receiving orders, especially for some customized products, and that area has ended. At the early stage of COVID-19, for facial masks and PPE and necessities, people were panically shopping them. So that's when we had the issue of inventory. Now COVID-19 is still spreading, especially in some parts of the country. I think in the future we will sacrifice some efficiency because inventory will have some costs, and then we sacrifice efficiency for some robustness, have a trade-off between the two. But in such a context, China is still, I know that we are talking about the issues of a global supply chain, but China is and will continue to be an important part of the global supply chain. However, for some necessities, I think companies will produce them nearby. And regional alliances are coming to being as well. For example, in Asia recently, more than 10 countries, including China, have signed the RCEP. That's a good example in case. The flow of capital. I think in finance, flow of capital is very important for economic activities, the trade of service and goods. The flow of capital is the fundamental for all of that. This crisis of the pandemic, just like a previous one, the previous ones were all about the flow of capital, for example, like the financial crisis in 2008. But however, this time during COVID-19, the flow of capital is okay. However, due to the impact brought by COVID-19 on businesses, some companies may be shut down, and that will bring many difficulties to the finance sector, especially the collapse of oil price. That influenced the confidence in the stock market. So because finance is highly relevant to people's confidence, and that's why countries are trying their best to save the stock market, to try and save the economy even by measures such as printing money. So this time, I think, we resumed the production and recovered much faster than in previous crises. However, this has brought a new issue. How should we handle the huge deficits? Well, China is doing well, but many other countries are printing huge amounts of money to save the economy and the decreasing of interest rates. The vast majority of the major countries have zero interest rate, and even some have negative interest. How can we address that? The globalization has drawn all of us attention. More than 10 years ago, we were talking about the world is flat, and that's our description of the globalization. In the past 3 decades, globalization seems to be unstoppable, but now that's over. However, we are not closing our doors. We are now having multi-modal regional cooperation. At least there are going to be 3 regions. The first one is North American Economic Region led by US, and the second is European Union, and third, the Asia Economic Region led by China. RCEP is a good example. And in the future, there will be cooperation among the three regions and also better alliance, just like in areas such as the necessities and the PPEs I just mentioned. So we need to stay confident. Even in the direst situation, within the regions, there will be huge growth, and also we can have definitely safe, like guaranteed of supply in terms of such much needed materials. Digitalization has developed really fast due to COVID-19, all the industries. Well, even prior to COVID-19, it was developing very quickly, so COVID-19 just accelerated that, just like put by our CEO Satya. The progress of digitalization that used to take 2 years has been completed within 2 months. And that has safeguarded our businesses, and also it shows that the world needs digital transformation because it can bring more efficiency, let alone better predictions and better preparedness for the future. What are the bases for digital transformation? In China, we are saying A, B, C. A refers to AI, B refers to big data, C refers to cloud or computation. Digital transformation is made possible because of the maturity of technologies. So today we can combine the three technologies together. For example, at Microsoft, we had two important parts. The first one is called cloud computing plus AI. That's a platform because every company wants to do digital transformation well beneath such a platform. We can have some like the fundamentals that are structural or unstructured data, and then AI machines, and eventually the tools and applications for companies to make use of. Digital transformation should be about every aspect of a company. We believe there are 4 key areas. First, updating products, and then improve the competitiveness of the company in the market. And second, that's about CRM. Digital transformation can make it even better. And the left two are the internal optimization of operations and empowerment of employees. They are equally important. Well, maybe some company may ignore these two, but I think company has to finish all of them in digital transformation. And that has been shown very clearly during COVID-19. The companies that have better digital transformation are more resilient against the COVID-19, and they were even able to find new directions and new opportunities. So digital transformation were first started in 6 industries, and they are beneficiaries as well. And now COVID-19 has made a digital transformation a necessary thing for every industry. Microsoft has done many research, maybe the best one among multinational companies in this regard. We have invested a lot in digital transformation. We are very happy to see that our partners and clients use our platforms to complete their digital transformation. However, because technologies are iterating very quickly, if our customer need our help, we are also very happy to help them. And that's why 3 years ago, we've established the 创新会, an innovation community, to gather all the leading companies in the sector, which are also our good partners and clients. I think if we can sit all together to learn from each other, at such occasions, Microsoft will be able to provide not just the product, but also technologies of today and the future to better prepare the companies in their digital transformation. Well, we can also take part in the company's innovation if they need us to. In the finance sector, in previous years, we have carried out some really cutting-edge projects with our partners. So I'd like to specifically mention that what we have done is actually go beyond what I can report here, because I have to first get the approval before unveiling these projects. And since these projects are done jointly by both of us, in intelligent investment, we have worked with the Huaxia Fund and Taiping Asset. Here, as you can see, that with Huaxia, the project has helped Huaxia to have good performance in Shanghai 500 and Shenzhen 500 indexes. So we have actually outperformed the general trend of the market. So we are very happy that we have won new customers for Huaxia. Also, together with the Foreign Exchange Center, we are carrying out the trader profiling as well as product profiling. Because when the traders are doing their work, they aim to help different clients to buy different types of bonds. Well, bonds are different in terms of their credit rating, their interest, their return rates, their risk levels. So how can we have a clear profiling for the traders to remember and help their clients to find the most desirable products? We've tried many experiments in this regard. In addition, apart from the finance services, we also have other corporations. This is an example. This is cooperation with SF Express for against the malicious fraud. Well, it's just maybe there will be some people fraud SF Express to get some claims. So we are helping these companies to save their cost of operation by such cooperation. Here, I'd like to mention the kindness of AI. Recently, I guess everyone knows that technologies are very good with huge benefits brought by them. However, there are also some negative effects. For example, the misuse of data, privacy issue, misinformation, and even some ethical issues of AI, and whether AI will replace human beings in employment. However, I'd like to say that technologies are dead, but human beings are alive. What technology can reflect is just the value of the decisions of its users and creators. So Microsoft took the lead, and now we are very happy to say that many local companies and governments are promoting the idea of building AI to be more responsible, trustworthy. We have proposed the 7 principles from law-abiding, sovereignty, responsibility, transparency, fairness, reliability, and security. All of these are of your interests. So how can we unite every partners and parties to formulate some industrial standards and even laws and regulations so that everyone can have a guideline to follow to produce more trustworthy technologies. So apart from kindness and these principles, I'd like to remind all of us, not everyone in the world is as lucky as we are to have the same resources and enjoy the same privilege. So how can we input the kindness into our work? That's why we are encouraging everyone, including our employees, to do some charities. Because when the able can take care and support the less able or underprivileged, and the world will be better. We covered the flow of goods, the flow of capital, flow of people. Actually, there is another flow that I've seen during COVID-19 when it was at its peak, and that flow actually increased. Well, if you search COVID donate on April 19th, and you would notice that when the pandemic was most serious, the donation to the COVID-19 was most in terms of amount, and so that's about people-centered. While we are concerned about technologies and their negative effects, we should not forget actually behind this technology there are human beings, and the kindness and being warm-hearted are really in line with the virtues of the Chinese traditional culture. So especially for the practitioners in finance and fintech, I think if we can put the kindness into our work, the world will become a better place. Thank you very much.